demonstrate binding off in pattern in slow motion. And I'm going to demonstrate it in 2x2 rib, which means there are 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knits, 2 purls. But the only time a pattern ever tells you to bind off in pattern is if there is a knit purl combination going on. So I can demonstrate this in 2x2 rib, but really you can use the same technique for, that was a dog. You can use the same technique for any knit purl combination. I'll do enough of them so you get the swing of how to do them for knits and purls, which will apply to any knit purl combination. Enough talking, let's take a look. Here we are with my 2x2 rib, and I'm starting with 2 knit stitches. And just like a normal bind off, I'm going to knit the first 2 stitches because my rib is knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2. So the first 2 are knit. And I'm working this bind off on double pointed needles only because it's easy for demonstration. This technique is the same whether you're working, no matter what kind of needles you're working on, or whether you're knitting in the round or whatever, the technique is the same. So just like a normal bind off, I'm going to grab that first stitch and pull it over the second one so that I have 1 stitch left. And now I'm going to yarn forward because the next 2 stitches are purls. So I'm going to purl the purls. Maybe. There we go. And I have 2 stitches on the left needle, or the right needle. I'm going to pull my yarn back just to get it out of the way and to tighten up that purl stitch. Grab the first stitch and pull it over the second in a normal bind off. So that was just the first purl stitch. I have another purl stitch. So it's time to bring my yarn back forward to work that purl. I don't know why I'm having a hard time getting the needle wrapped in this video. It takes me 2 tries every time. That stitch is purled. And I have 2 stitches on the right needle. I'm going to pull my yarn to the back just to get it out of the way and pull 1 stitch over the other. So just like a normal bind off, I'm not accumulating any stitches on my right needle. Every time I get 2, I'm pulling 1 over the other. Now I finished the 2 purl stitches. I'm back to knit stitches. So my yarn's in back. And this is just like a normal knit bind off for these 2 stitches. Hey, look at me. I got the needle wrapped on the first try. Pull 1 stitch over the other. And the second knit stitch. You get a grip on that stitch and pull it over. And now we're back to purl stitches, where the yarn goes back and forth, back and forth. You don't have to pull the yarn to the back like I do to do the bind off part. I just think it's easier. But you do have to pull it to the front to purl the stitch. This is the yarn back that you don't have to do if you don't want to. I think it's easier to get my left needle in there. And I can also keep better tension on that first stitch. I mean the second stitch, the one I just made, because the stitch that I just made, the second one, you have to get pretty good tension on that to be able to easily pull one stitch over the other. So I pulled my yarn forward because I have another purl. Two tries. If all my knitting took me 2 tries to get the needle wrapped, that would be some slow knitting. Only when I'm demonstrating in video, right? I pull the yarn back to get a grip on that first stitch. There's tension on the second stitch. Pulling that over. Now I'm just going to slip that stitch over to the left-hand needle only to get it off that needle so that we can take a look at what we've done so far. This bind off ends up having a little bit of extra stretch because of the knits and purls, and it looks really good in the fabric. But usually we only use it if the pattern calls for binding off in pattern. And that's it. I hope it helps. Good luck.